If you've been here a while, you know that I talk a lot about layering income with OPM, creative financing, building cash flow outside of your main income or your main job. Today, I want to apply that directly to one group specifically, and that is real estate agents. Because here's the thing, most agents, they only have one lever, the next closing. And when that lever doesn't move, nothing happens. No income, no cash flow, nothing. The agents who figure this out aren't quitting real estate. They're not becoming full time investors. They're doing both alongside one another. And I want to show you exactly how that works. The one question I get pretty often from real estate agents is, should I get into real estate investing? As if it's either or. Like you have to choose between selling real estate or owning it. And that is the wrong question. The right question would be, what are the income streams that work alongside having an active license without having to take off my entire focus on production? Because the data backs this up. Research published this year found that agents relying only on commissions saw income drop by an average of 35% during slower markets. But the agents who had at least one additional income stream, whether it's rental income, a financing position, anything, they saw 10 to 15% drop in the same conditions versus that 35%. In the same market, same conditions, half the impact. That is not luck. That is planning. It is strategy and being smart. So what does that structure actually look like? Let's break it down into 3 layers. And you don't need to do all 3 at once. The first layer would be rental income. This is the most obvious one because most agents already understand it. They just have not done it. You know the market better than anyone out there. You see the deals before they even hit the MLS. The barrier isn't knowledge. It is action. Layer number 2 would be creative financing positions that are available to you. This is where it gets really interesting for agents specifically. It is seller financing subject to deals. These are structures that you don't need 20% down and a traditional loan to back you. Those, again, who have been here a while know that I've talked about this before on this channel, specifically in how to buy real estate without a bank. It is the same principle, but agents are uniquely positioned because they're already in front of the sellers who might even be open to creative terms. You have that advantage. Layer number 3 is equity participation. This is the most advanced layer where instead of just earning commission on a deal, you have ownership stake in the outcome, partnerships with investors, joint venture structures on flips or rentals. Agents who do this consistently end up with a portfolio of small equity positions that compound over time. Now, let's talk about what that actually looks like in practice. I want to share with you an actual example. One agent that started within the Beyond Commissions program started going through the framework and then took the jump to purchase her first property using a combination of seller financing and small private capital to fill the gap. About 10% down instead of 20 to 25%, which you typically need for investment properties. Over 9 months using the same combination of strategies, that portfolio grew to 3 units. The average net cash flow per unit is $325 a month. So total monthly portfolio cash flow in just under a year is about $1,000 a month. That is around $12,000 a year, completely separate from her commission income. I could even break it down a little further for you, breaking down my own personal example. We started real estate investing back in 2015 with wholesaling and then growing our portfolio in 2019. When we started building our own personal portfolio, we were doing it through savings, cashing out stock in order to cover the down payment. And we got traditional mortgages, traditional loans, so conventional and FHA. We eventually hit that loan to income ratio cap. Nonetheless, when we turned to creative financing, we were able to add from our 4 units portfolio, scale that to 21 doors in just 17 months, with each property bringing in around $300 to $400 a month in cash flow, net cash flow. That is after all costs are covered. So the mortgage, the insurance, reserves, everything, all of that taken into consideration, each property is bringing in a cash flow of around $300 to $400 a month on average. That is in addition to value increasing in those properties, anything else that you're doing on the side, like your commissionable income. Whether it be the example that I shared with you from an actual agent who went through the Beyond Commissions framework and started building her portfolio on the side, or my personal experience with my husband of growing our real estate portfolio. This doesn't require quitting real estate. It can happen alongside active production and the regular schedule. If you're a real estate agent watching this and thinking, okay, so where do I even start? Start with an honest look at your own income exposure. How much of your monthly income comes from a single source, whether that be your commissionable income or another source? What happens if that source slows down for 60 to 90 days? That's the real question when the slow markets hit. We put together a free 2-minute assessment that maps this out. It's called Are You Commission Proof? The link is in the description. It takes the concepts from this video and shows you specifically where your income is exposed and what to look at first. Now, this is the same framework that we actually teach, just built specifically for agents, and is called Beyond Commissions, also linked below. If this was helpful, the next video in this series is going to break down exactly how the seller financing piece works step by step. So make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss it.